so today we are going to be talking about the floor press. The floor press is just a variation of the flat bench press. However, obviously we're coming off the floor. Now the reason why we would use this particular exercise is to overemphasize the lockout portion of the bench press. Why would we do this is because a lot of people struggle, especially predominantly with their triceps, to lock the bar out. Now if you're into powerlifting and are trying to develop your lockout, this is a really good alternative option to grow that. Not to mention probably tricep exercises and dips and all the rest of that junk. Right, so how do we set this up? Well, obviously first things first, we want to make sure that the bar level is that of a bench press, just obviously coming off the floor. So you use the floor as the bench. Right, next we're going to set this up exactly how we would when it comes to a bench press. We're going to firstly pull our shoulder blades back and down and make sure that we pronounce that chest. For anyone who hasn't watched my chest or my other chest exercise videos or films, it is highly important that we pronounce our chest, and the reason being is a couple of reasons. One, we're going to get the most chest recruitment when our scapula is stable. So we're pulling our shoulder blades back and down, create stability, big broad chest. Also, when we do pronounce our chest, it actually targets our chest versus when we are laying flat, as I am now. You can see that my shoulders are pronounced and they're coming up. So I'm going to get a lot of load through this anterior deltoid. But if I pull my shoulder blades back and down and really sort of almost feel like I'm stretching out my chest, my neck, and creating an arch off the ground, you can see that if I lay flat, how pronounced my chest is. My next tip is that when we disrack the bar, we're going to take a big deep breath in and hold that breath. And the reason being is that if you can see when I'm down here, if I breathe out, I lose it, right? You can see me collapse. But if I take that breath in and hold that breath, we can press and keeps me nice and locked and nice and tight. And as a result of that, it makes me stronger. The more tension I can create, the stronger I am. So here's a little acronym: AIR makes us stronger. Or not an acronym, a saying. AIR makes us stronger. So shoulder blades are back and down now. Normally what I would be doing is trying to cement my feet. Now we can still do this by simply just keeping our feet locked in on the ground. However, obviously our feet aren't a big player in this movement because we can't create that leg drive because we're going to be keeping our hips on the ground. So our shoulder blades back and down, and we're coming up to the bar. We're going about a thumb width out from the bar, or you can come out to the slits. I tend to like to go about a thumb width out, a thumb and a knuckle. We're going to create our bull grip. Now a bull grip is we're running the bar through this section of our fingers, and the reason why we want to do this is because if I grab the bar like so and my wrists are bent back, you can see biomechanically we're dependent on this wrist. We are dependent on the force and how much this can hold when it's pushing down like that, right? You can see if I was to draw a line straight through, it's not going through my bones. But with a bull grip, if we slightly turn our hand this direction, have the bar run through this part of our hand, what happens is that it aligns our radius and our ulna in order for us to generate as much force through our bones here and transfer into our hand, rather than be subjected to pushing force up but the bar sit here. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense, because it does make sense. Right, so we're going to twist our hands and create a bull grip. We're going to wrap our fingers around and think about punching the sky with your knuckles. That is in essence what we're trying to achieve. So our shoulder blades are back and down. We're creating our bull grip by simply sliding our hand so that the bar runs in line with our index finger and our thumb. We're going to disrack the bar, pull our shoulder blades back and down, and think about that the bar is connected in the middle by pulling it apart. So again, bull grip, pull the bar apart. Now we're going to pronounce our chest by taking a big deep breath in at the top
and down. Now, one thing to be aware of, you need to control your descent, and the reason being is because if you don't, you are going to smash your elbows and cause all sorts of issues through your forearm, such as hitting your funny bone and creating that tingly sensation, right? So I cannot stress that enough. That's someone speaking of experience. I came down, went bang, and oh man, did it hurt. So we're going to control our descent, which is what we should be doing anyway on any lift. So again, bull grip, pull the bar apart, shoulder blades back and down, pronounce our chest, big deep breath in. We're going to control the press. Now you can see that when I'm in this position here, that the bar actually is not touching my chest. This is as far as the range of motion allows. This is why, what I was talking about is working the top section of the press, because obviously if we were to come all the way, oh that's a bad example, don't do that. If you come all the way down to your chest, it's the full range, right? But we're only working the top section, so that's what we're trying to achieve. So shoulder blades are back and down, pulling apart, and we're pressing and contracting our chest just as we would with any other chest pressing exercises. And you'll notice that your triceps and your chest will be very much exposed. You may not be able to do the same amount of weight because you won't be able to recruit that elasticity. It's very much a pause and go set. For those who don't know what elasticity is, at the bottom part when you sort of come down and you naturally want to spring out of the hole, that's your elasticity. Our muscles are like elastic bands. They want to come back to where their normal sitting position is. If we take them at their full range, they're going to get that elasticity and then want to spring back into position. So again, shoulder blades are back and down. We're creating our bull grip. Our hands are pulling the bar apart. We're coming down, controlling the negative. We're going to pause, press, pause, press. Don't forget to create your arch by pulling your shoulder blades back and down towards your back pockets. Create the arch from your hips up to your chest. The more we pronounce we can create our chest, the more we're going to feel our chest.
Team, that is how you perform a floor press.